I imagine you have some probability distribution in your mind of how much money you might give in the next election cycle.
Breaking news in crypto today. Prosecutors drop yet another charge against FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried, meaning SBF will face no jail time for the billions of dollars illegally siphoned from customers and then donated to politicians. And remember just how much.
Bankruptcy attorneys say FTX donated $93 million to politicians. SBF contributed $70 million himself to mostly Democratic campaigns. Bankman-Fried telling YouTuber Tiffany Fong that he also donated an equal amount to Republicans, but all those donations were, quote, dark, therefore untraceable.
And if you're asking why, meaning the real reason the charges were dropped, and by the way, remember, SBF was about to donate a whole lot more money.
I imagine you have some probability distribution in your mind of how much money you might give in the next election cycle. Like, give me some number.
I would guess north of 100 million.
More than 100 million sort of spread across many races, organizations, but toward the 2024 election. So if that's a floor, what's the ceiling?
And that brings us to today. The United States government has officially dropped all charges related to the campaign donations. And if you're asking why SBF could donate hundreds of millions of dollars of allegedly fraudulent money and put it in the pockets of politicians and then get those charges dropped, well, the answer is because of a technicality with the Bahamian government. You're wondering why the government dropped some charges against SBF? Because of this thing called laws. The Bahamian extradition treaty with the United States clearly says you have to declare everything you're going to charge him with in the original extradition or you're violating the treaty. Specifically, this is Article 14, Rule of Speciality. So SBF's lawyers must have either knew or negotiated this in to the extradition treaty. A person extradited under this treaty may only be detained, tried, or punished in the requesting state for the offenses of which the extradition was granted. This is an ongoing story. Click subscribe. You do not want to miss a video. And with a trial still set to come at the end of this year, possibly next, Bankman-Fried still faces multiple wire and securities fraud charges. Now, Gary Gensler just went on Bloomberg to talk about Ripple, but breaking news for sponsor of the channel, Linqto. Linqto unveils bold rebrand and expands platform capabilities to democratize private equity investing. So for those who don't know, Linqto is a leading global financial technology investment platform. It democratizes access to private equity investments on a global scale, and Linqto allows accredited investors to identify, evaluate, invest in, and make liquid investments in unicorns and private companies, with a focus on companies in various sectors, including fintech, AI, health tech, sustainable materials, and digital assets. And Linqto is solving a major problem. The world of private equity can often feel like an exclusive club.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Meaning that their gates are closed to almost all except the most influential institutions and individuals with deep pockets. However, change is upon us with Linqto. The company is set on a course to open the private equity world to all accredited investors, thus allowing everyone to share in the successes of the world's leading unicorns. So again, what is Linqto? Your access to private investments. And again, I'll share with you what Linqto offers versus the competition. But what's cool to me is the growth they're already seeing. Over 187,000 registered users, over 270 million total investments, with over 38 companies available to date and growing. Anyway, the news today is this. They just did a bold rebrand, and in a direct quote as to why from their COO on the Thinking Crypto podcast.
It's pretty clear we've got a very, very good product market fit. And so the purpose of the rebrand really is to take us down to this next stage of our life as a company, which is to scale it in terms of the number of members on the platform, the value, the assets they have on the platform, and to give them a lot more capability to trade those investments by making them liquid.
So Linqto makes investing in private companies more accessible than ever if you're an accredited investor, and it gives accredited investors access to potentially high-growth investments. So again, democratizes the process. So the big differences with Linqto is affordability, meaning entry points with the lowest minimums, as well as no additional fees. Accessibility, and a big one being liquidity, meaning real-time settlement, as well as the ability to get in and out of private equity investing. Obviously, the difference between Linqto and competitors speaks for itself. So if you're an accredited investor and you're looking for a platform designed with the user in mind, with already pre-vetted companies, highly recommend check out the link to Linqto down below. And by the way, this video is for educational purposes only, and it does not constitute a solicitation or an offer to buy or sell securities. Now, Gary Gensler was just on Bloomberg TV. He was asked about XRP and Ripple.
A ruling that was made in the Ripple case that XRP is only a security when sold to institutional investors, not so with retail investors. I know you've previously said you were disappointed by that ruling. The SEC has also said that it intends to seek further review. So does that mean you are going to appeal it? Can you elaborate on your thoughts around that ruling?
Kaylee, great question, but the commission, I'm one of 5 commissioners. Mm-hmm. The commission has not acted on that, and if the staff makes a recommendation, we'll have a discussion of it, and we'll take it up then, but I don't really have anything more for you for that.
In the meantime, as we wait for this,
he then went on to say this about crypto as a whole.
The securities laws are there to protect you, and that's right now, this is a field rife with fraud, rife with hucksters, and there are good faith actors as well, but there are far too many that aren't.
And this is why legislation like this is so important right now. Historic crypto market bill approved to advance to full U.S. House. So the House Agriculture Committee advanced legislation to overhaul how crypto markets are regulated in the U.S. a day after the House Financial Services Committee did the same. And why this matters: the bill becomes the most significant piece of digital asset legislation to advance this far in Congress. And now that committee's debated, amended, and advanced the unusual cross-jurisdictional effort, the legislation is likely to be voted on by the entire House of Representatives in the near future. And just as a reminder what this bill would do, it would grant more power and funding to oversee crypto spot markets for so-called digital commodities, so not securities, but commodities. And the bill would also direct regulators to create a clear pathway for digital assets to transition from a security investment to a commodity for those cryptos that were sufficiently decentralized. That is the video. My name's Austin. Like always, see you tomorrow.